Welcome to Judo for the World, which comes to you from Cuba and its capital city, Havana. This iconic and unique setting will play host to the opening Grand Prix on the 2016 International Judo Federation World Tour. In 2014, Havana hosted its first Grand Prix, giving judo a chance to show how it is truly more than just a sport, as an education delegation was able to engage in numerous coaching and development schemes at ground level in this fantastic country. Enabling many budding Cuban champions to compete for Grand Prix gold alongside the world's best athletes, it also gave a boost to the already large presence of judo in Cuban sport. And this year, judo fans once again packed out the Sports City Coliseum, eager to watch the sport at its highest level. They were joined by many a notable VIP presence, and IJF President Mr. Marius Fizzer, who joined in celebrating the achievements of Cuban sport as the events in Havana were broadcast all over the globe. In this episode of Judo for the World, we'll get an insight into the mental preparations of an elite-level athlete from the USA's Olympic champion, Kayla Harrison. We'll show you all the best action, including a contender for the fastest World Tour Ippon on record. And we'll say goodbye to Cuban coaching legend Ronaldo as he retires from a glittering career, before getting to know his latest protégé as she aims to take gold on home soil. But we start at under 48 kilograms, where reigning world champion Argentina's Paula Pareto was in action. Though always a threat at the biggest events, her world championship victory came as a surprise to many, and it remains to be seen if she has what it takes to claim Olympic gold this year. After she dispatched Rossanu of Israel by Ippon, she then found herself in a war as she contested a place in the semi-finals with home favourite Mestre Alvarez. With the scores level before golden score, Pareto showed her appreciation for her opponent's efforts in a wonderful moment of sportsmanship. Eventually, a penalty to Pareto would mean there would be no golden comeback as Mestre Alvarez progressed. But Pareto showed her fighting spirit, winning her repechage contest and earning the right to fight for bronze against Hurtado Munoz. Your commentator is former world champion Neil Adams.
So Pareto already lost to Mestre Alvarez. Oh, there's a Wazari scored there from Pareto. Drops Cianagi. And look at that. Very dangerous with that drop Cianagi, Pareto. She can go right as well. She can do it both sides. Oh, my goodness me. She gets countered. And now, well, that's a Yuko scored. So just ahead. But made a mistake. Stayed there too long. And a Yuko to Hurtado Munoz. And Gonzalez there, the 96 Olympic champion, shouting advice. Oh, is that going to be a Wazetti Ippon? It is. And this time, it was the left Cianagi again, and a bronze medal for the current world champion. Pareto lost to Mestre Alvarez, but has come back and got a medal, well-deserved medal. But she'll learn from this.
I enjoyed the moment I won this medal very much. It's always very important to get a medal, no matter what colour it is. It's important, no doubt it's important, to be on a podium and at an event of this magnitude, which makes me feel great. I'm also very happy because I ended my medal contest with an Ippon, which is a score that always makes you happy to finish your fight with. Summarising, happy and satisfied with the result and ready to analyse every detail in order to be ready for what's next. During my fight against the Cuban Mestre, I felt the intensity. I knew it was going to be more intense than other fights and more physically demanding. When the fight was over, I thought I was the winner, but then I had a look at the screen and I saw that I'd gotten the score wrong, so it went into golden score. It finished in her favour, but she's a friend of mine off the mat, so it's okay. I'll have to keep on working and to improve, hoping that next time the contest will go my way. As I said, I knew it was going to be a tough fight, but that doesn't matter once it's over. I always pay my respects to my opponent when I lose, in the same way that I like to receive such respect when I win. Even though you might be disappointed with the result inside yourself, it doesn't mean your opponent doesn't deserve to be congratulated, especially when, like in this case, we are good friends off the mat. I knew I could still get a medal, and I stepped on the mat again with the same energy and determination as I had in the first contest of the day. But my head was full of positive and negative emotions from the previous contest. I knew I was also very tired. But the thing that got me through was my head. I used my head to help me throughout that contest to remain calm and focused. After that, I used the time before the final block to recover properly. For all of us in South America, it's a very good thing. The fact we have big events like these and have the Masters on this continent, it gives us a chance to send more athletes. Therefore, more athletes will have more chances to qualify for the Olympic Games. If these events were held in Europe, it would all be more complicated because of the financial implications. It's a very positive thing, which helps judo to grow in the whole continent. I speak to many athletes from the region, and many judoka from the Pan American Confederation tell me the same thing. I think judo is a way of life, something that is part of you from when you're little. You create special bonds with people and make friends who actually become more like family. For me, judo does that more than anything else in your country and in the rest of the world. It's something that I recommend to everyone.
The gold was eventually taken by another South American champion, in the form of reigning Olympic gold medalist Sarah Menezes of Brazil. She was on fine form as she caught Israel Shira Rishoni with a superb dropping shoulder throw to win the contest by Ippon, climbing back inside the top 8 in the process. Whilst there was some great action on display in Havana, of particular note was this fantastic Sodi Surikamigoshi from Azerbaijan's Orkan Safarov, which saw Austria's Ludwig Peischer performing a full somersault as he was thrown for Ippon. Fighting for bronze at over 100 kilograms, Germany's Andre Breitbarth showed skillful footwork to sweep his opponent for a Wazawi score. But it was his quick thinking on the ground which really impressed, as he was straight onto the arm to secure a submission. But the Ippon of the tournament caused the surprise of the tournament when world number 22 Blashenko took on world number 5 Prix at under 100 kilograms.
Two massive throwers, these two. Blashenko looking for the Kosoto. Oh, something's going to happen! Look at that! Prix goes over. Prix was hooked up to Blashenko, and that's exactly where Blashenko wanted to be. He climbed on top of him in the end. Look at the control of the back. And, well, Prix can throw from there as well. But he stayed there too long, and that is a massive surprise. The world number 22 takes the number 5 in the world over and wins the gold medal.
The final of the over 100 kilogram category saw a contender for the coveted fastest Ippon on the world tour, as Hungary's Borbana took on Renat Sayadov of Russia. But which one of them would be on the receiving end in Havana? Let's join Neil to find out.
War of Hungary in white. Sayadov, very, very tall fighter, Sayadov. So rangy. Has a good Uchimata. He also has a good Tomanagi. There's Uchimata! Oh! Look at that! It's all over! And just 5 seconds on the clock gone. And, well, we're just going to have a look at that to see if it's one of the quickest on record. Uchimata! Right off the bat, ball goes over, and Sayadov wins the gold medal.
A great performance from Sayadov to win him the gold. But was it the World Tour's fastest Ippon? Currently in pole position is Japan's Anai Takamasa with this incredible Ippon in just 3.43 seconds. At number 2 and fastest in a final is Germany's Roper, clocking in at 5.28 seconds. So let's have a look at Sayadov's Ippon. From Hajime to the shoulders hitting the mat, the total is 4.41 seconds. knocking Roper into third place and giving Sayedov the fastest Ippon in a final. But for now, Anai is still the quickest on record. In the other male categories, there was a second gold for Brazil to celebrate, thanks to the efforts of Takabataki at under 60 kilograms. In the under 66 kilo category, two powerhouses collided in the final. Russia's Kamal Khan Nurmagomedov was his usual self in Havana, throwing from all angles to make the final, whilst Loic Corval was doing his best to impress the crowd, throwing big in his semi-final matchup against Georgia's Mark Velashvili. The final was decided by a clever switch of directions from Khan Nurmagomedov, scoring him a yuko to leave him 5-0 up on head-to-heads with Corval.
4-5.
Oh, 5
4.
now, 5.
5.
Yeah, now 5.
4.
No, now you win 5 times.
5 times?
Now, yes, today you win for the 5 times.
5 times, 5 winner. 5
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, 5 for
Maybe
you.
boxing you.
Hey!
Under 73 kilogram world number 1 Rustam Arujov bolstered his position atop the ranking list after the Azerbaijani secured victory against Skvortov of the United Arab Emirates. Whilst the man impressing at under 81 kilograms was Russia's Kasan Kalmazeyev. After some dynamic Ippon judo throughout the day, it was this clever Wazari that was decisive in the final against Travis Stevens of the USA. It moved the Russian up to world number 6. But the male category which everyone inside the arena eagerly awaited was the under 90 kilograms, which would feature Cuba's number 1 male fighter, Asle Gonzalez. The former world champion and Olympic silver medalist would be looking to use home soil to his advantage and feed off the buzz from the crowd. As Gonzalez walked to the tatami, the atmosphere inside the venue reached fever pitch. One by one, his elimination victims fell prey to his lethal dropping shoulder throws. This effort against Cheng, the pick of the bunch, before the same technique again saw him past Nabali of the Ukraine and into the final. Gonzalez had not failed to please the crowd. In the final against world number 6 Christian Toth, he played a tactical game, using his superior gripping skills and movement to nullify the dangerous Hungarian, winning the bout on penalty points. And once again, the sportsmanship of judo athletes was on display in Havana, as each saluted the other's efforts for the crowd. But it was Gonzalez and Cuba that would top the podium. A welcome win, which moved him up to world number 8. The under 52 kilogram gold was taken by Germany's Marine Cray, who saw off Belgian veteran Halen in the final. Whilst at under 57 kilograms, it was Malloy of the USA taking top spot. There was a return to form for Yarden Gerby at under 63 kilograms, as she took gold for Israel, which would be matched by her teammate Linda Boulder at under 70 kilograms, after she defeated Hungary's Gershak Bayayuko to round off a great day for the Israelis. Under 78 kilogram Olympic champion Kayla Harrison of the USA took time out to speak to us before she competed in Havana.
Well, you know, I ended last year on a really good note. I won the Tokyo Grand Slam. I had a little bit of an injury with my shoulder, so I had to rest that. And there's no better time to rest than December. Lots of parties, lots of fun, family, friends. And for me, it was really good. It was a nice mental rest before this last big push. You know, we have 197 days until the Olympic Games, and I can't wait. The more I fight, the better I fight. So my coaches wanted me to kind of get the dust off and get the dirt off for Paris, and make sure that I'm nice and sharp and ready for that. So it's a good tournament. It's a great tournament. The crowd's always really lively. It's a friendly group. You know, I'm really good friends with a lot of the women's Cuban team, so why not Cuba? Plus, it's a lot warmer than Boston right now. For me, really, 2 days before the competition, I like to come, check it out, see what the venue's like, get a feel for the tournament, really, and watch my teammates compete, cheer them on. I'm always a little bit nervous, but I think that's good because it means I care. And for me, I always fight on the last day, so it's always kind of like a sit around and wait. And by the time tournament day gets there, I'm so ready to fight because I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting. So I'm excited. I feel good. So we usually arrive like 3 or 4 days before competition. We work out. I typically work out once a day up until the day before I fight. And it's just light movement stuff, staying sharp, just working on gripping, working on maybe specific throws, working on maybe specific newaza techniques. Fight day is a little bit different because it's finally here. So for me, I wake up, usually get my hair done. That's a small detail, but it's important. I have my music in, I'm relaxed, not really in the zone yet, but getting there. I'm here 3 hours before I fight, so I'm not warming up for 3 hours. So during that time, I'm usually listening to a lot of like country music, also like John Mayer and Jack Johnson, and just sort of like chilled, relaxed, like nothing crazy, just makes me feel like relaxed. And then once I start my warm-up, I actually have a specific playlist that I just press the first one and it goes all the way through. And that's all Eminem. So I listen to all Eminem when I'm getting in the mode to fight. And I start with a 5-minute jog to his Sing for the Moment. And yeah, it gets me amped. I don't necessarily want to think about everything that I'm going to do in the match, but I always want to have the first sequence of the match planned. So I know what my first attack is going to be or what my first grip exchange is going to look like. And other than that, really, it's just a lot of positive thoughts going through my head. Kayla Harrison, Olympic champion. I'm not afraid to win. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. And just like staying in that zone. I like to also breathe. Sometimes if you get so worked up, it's almost a bad thing. So even though I'm saying those things in my head, I'm probably taking a deep breath, holding it, and then letting it out, just to kind of center myself and just get ready to go out there and just let instincts take over, because that's when I fight my best.
Having started with a narrow victory over Portugal's Ramirez, Harrison then stepped it up a gear against Italy's Gaglioni. Taking a dominant grip, she threw with Hara Makikomi, scoring Wasari. Then, to finish the contest, she freed her leg and held Gaglioni down for Ippon. Harrison was through to the semi-final. But her bogey woman, Yo Abigail, lay in wait. And the awkward Hungarian took her winning record against Harrison to 4-1 by reaching the final, sending Harrison into the bronze medal contest, making it abundantly clear that she must come up with a plan to defeat Yo in Rio. Cuba's Castillo would be her opponent for bronze. It was a match which exhibited the close friendship between Cuba and the United States. One Shido would be enough to settle the contest, and the two fighters shared a touching embrace at the end of the match. So, Harrison was on the podium in Havana, but she now knows there's work to do before Rio. As always, Harrison showed the class of her character, as she took time to make one young judo fan's day. Harrison's nemesis Yo would go on to take gold after she defeated Germany's Malzahn with this pressure point Ippon. It shows she does have what it takes to win gold at this level. And as an opponent that many of the top 8 find awkward, she could well be a dark horse at the Olympic Games. Havana marked the retirement of Cuba's legendary female coach, Ronaldo Vitia Valdivia. Known simply as Ronaldo, he has enjoyed a truly monumental career, in which he has coached at 6 Olympic Games, from Barcelona in '92 all the way through to London 2012. As a coach, he has obtained more Olympic medals than any other in judo's history, with a total of 5 gold, 9 silver and 10 bronze. Adding to this tally the numerous World, Continental and World Tour medals he has accumulated, Ronaldo can be easily recognised as one of the greatest coaches judo has ever seen. In an emotional farewell to this colourful character, many of his former champions were in attendance. Among them, Olympic and world champion Idalys Gonzalez, whom we spoke to about Ronaldo's impact on her career.
I think he's been a great man in my personal life. He has also been my teacher, the person who formed me. And thanks to him, I had great success in the sport worldwide. Since I was very little, When I was 13 or 14, I came here away from my father, so Ronaldo has been the key figure in all my sporting career.
And among those honouring Ronaldo in Havana was his last Olympic champion, Idalys Ortiz. She is the current superstar of Cuban sport, a two-time world champion and the reigning Olympic champion. Judo for the World joined Ortiz as she took us to a place very close to her heart.
We're in the municipality of Candelaria, and this is where I started doing judo. My house is 4 or 5 kilometers from here. I had to walk here with my friends from judo. As kids do, we used to run, jump. And by the time we got here, we hardly had any energy left. It was amazing to be on the mat. I got emotional, and it even brought a tear to my eye when the kids from the local primary school came. Because they show what us Cubans are made of. We don't have much, but we're humble. And there's a great sense of community in this village.
Ortiz looked calm and composed as she came out for her elimination contests. But having lost here in 2014, the crowd were on the edge of their seats. But the Olympic champion easily outclassed her opponents en route to the final. This dropped Sianagi Ippon against Britain's Sarah Adlington, the best piece of action she produced. As she waited backstage to contest the final, she now looked more intense, knowing she had a job to do against Louette Canning of France if she was to live up to the expectations inside the arena. Let's join Neil to see if she could make amends for her loss in 2014.
Mr. Marius Visa, President of the IJF, enjoying this final. Ortiz of Cuba, Olympic champion, against Louette Canning of France. And now what's going to happen? Oh, she's set up! And Uranagi is what's going to happen. The Olympic champion on home ground wins the final of this plus 78, and the crowd erupt. Brilliant stuff there from the double world champion and Olympic champion, and the crowd loving this. The atmosphere in here absolutely electric, and that was magical. She stayed there too long, Louette Canning, and the Olympic champion punished her. The arm went round the back, and she took her up and over and flat on her back for the Ippon. The crowd loving it. And of course, the great Ronaldo, not there this time. There's the lift, the drive off the back leg, and the control round the waist there. Louette Canning just stayed there too long. Ortiz, back to her best.
Just under 2 years ago, I competed at the Havana Grand Prix, the first Grand Prix organised in Cuba. My performance wasn't great, and I finished in 5th place. That's why winning this Grand Prix makes me feel so happy. I think I've now repaid my debt.
So the Olympic champion back to her very best, and she will be there defending her Olympic title in Rio de Janeiro. The crowd here have been absolutely magnificent. They are so passionate about their judo. They're a well-educated audience. And what an absolute treat it is for them to have a Grand Prix on home soil.
So that's it from Havana, and this episode of Judo for the World. Our next programme will bring you all the action and stories from one of the World Tour's most exciting events, the Paris Grand Slam.